Welcome, y'all. Hey, man, it's Christmas Eve. You know what I'm saying? It's December the 24th. I'd like to welcome y'all to Space Invaders TV, man. Welcome, y'all. Peace and blessings to all of y'all. I know this is the first time I'm dropping the show back to back. I just dropped the show, midnight. New Year's, Christmas Eve, midnight, I dropped the show, and I'm turning right back around with this show here. Yeah, man, y'all see this holes in here. Hey, don't laugh at this, my sweater, man. I done had this thing for like 2 years. I felt to get in the spirit a little bit, you know what I'm saying? And, yeah, so it had a lot of going on this sweater. It had, like, big eyes for the frog. It had a bell on this thing. I cut all that crap off, man. Too old, can't be running around with that. But I just was like, yo, let me throw it on. Look good on the camera, you know what I'm saying? Don't laugh, man. So if you see the holes in here, that's where it was, the eyes right here, and I cut them out because it looked crazy. It would have looked crazy on camera. Like, it really would have looked crazy on camera to y'all. So I cut them off. And plus, I couldn't be running around in traffic like that, man. I couldn't be running around these streets, you know what I'm saying, with these big old eyes. And actually, I'm not even wearing this outside, so I can't do it. But yeah, yo, anyway, man, peace and blessings to y'all, man. This is Space Invaders TV once again. Welcome you back to all our subscribers. And if you're new to the page, welcome. I welcome you all. As always, man, peace and blessings be with you and your families at this time. Blessings over all of you guys' households. I just, once again, as always, I have to touch on, and I know that this has been a wild, crazy, stressful year for everybody. I just hope that you have not let this year totally wipe you out mentally. And I hope that whatever your plans were at the start of 2020, you have been planning and making your and strengthening your plans to come back, even better, because this pandemic, all things happen for a reason, And we'll get into that. But today, man, on this show right now, what I want to talk about, I want to talk about Trump shooting down the stimulus package, the $600 stimulus package, which was a good thing but a bad thing. The timing is off. We're gonna get into that. We're gonna talk about the rich and the wealthy are fleeing New York, man. There's even been talks about that, and that's been going on for a while, for a long time in California as well. Some rich people have been fleeing there too. You know what I'm saying? On the low. You know what I mean? That's been spoken about. But New York, man, you have some of the wealthy and the rich. They're fleeing the city, man. They took too much of a hit this year. They lost a lot of money, and they lost a lot of money this year, and they can't stomach any more losses. So they're flying south. Sources saying a lot of the wealthy and rich are fleeing and heading to Florida. I don't know what their taxes in Florida are high. So you leaving New York? I don't understand that part. But anyway, they'll come back. You know what I'm saying? But we're going to get into that. I also want to talk about Trump pardoning all his friends. All his friends has got pardoned. Everybody that was, caught up in the cases with him and all of that, he's pardoned all of them. And are we surprised? No, not surprised. You know, part of the reason why I think Trump ran for presidency, even though I know he didn't take it serious, part of the reason why I believe Trump ran for presidency was to position himself and his friends. So it's no surprise. It's to position himself and to get in the government and see how things are run. Now he know how things is ran, so it's like now he has the cheat code for real now. You feel me? So I'm not surprised. You know what I mean? And let's just be real. If any of us was the president and we had homeboys and we knew, like, you know, we had family or homeboys, we'll pardon them too. You know what I'm saying? If we knew that if they were straight, if we felt that they were good people, stand up people. You already know how it is. If it was us in the White, if it was some real type jokers that would had the attitude like Trump got, if it was some real type joker in the White House that slid in, you know what I mean? You know what you know what happened. You know what happened. You know what I mean? Old homeboys from the block be like, old homeboys from the block be calling your people to get at, having they people call your people to get at you like, yo man, I'm saying before you step out the office, you know what I'm saying? You remember old black from the block, right? You know what I'm saying? You know, he ain't got hit up in the 80s. They gonna slam him with 40 years. You know what I mean? I mean, what you gonna do about that? You know what I'm saying? And I'll be like, oh, hold on, let me see what I can do about that. Let me look into the case. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I'm not, that's some real shit. He positioned himself and he got into the White House. And I believe it was all about him positioning, even though Trump didn't take he didn't take it serious. He was just shooting the dice. He really ain't expect to be the presidency. You could tell the way at the first 6 months how he was carrying himself. He was wild through his whole presidency. But the thing, like the look on his face, especially the day after the inauguration, like the look on the face, man. You know what I'm saying? Just said it all, man. You know, and in these times, man, body language, man, it's something that a lot of these folks can't even hide. You know what I'm saying? They don't have that. They don't have that. They don't have that skill to hide those things. So the body language and face expression is going to tell everything. They can't hide their feelings because a lot of people are wearing their feelings like so much on their sleeve, man, that they can't hide what their true thoughts may be and feelings. So, man, like I said again, welcome. This is Space Invaders TV, folks. I'd like to welcome you here. Today is again Christmas Eve, December the 24th, 2020. Make sure y'all hit the subscribe button, subscribe to the page, tell a friend to tell a friend. Hit the notification bell as well so you'll be notified. Turn on your notification button so you'll be notified every time I drop a show. You'll know. I'm going to go real brief again. Space Invaders TV, what we do here is talk about the daily topics that goes on in the world, other world news. I don't dabble in entertainment news. I may speak on entertainers doing something great in the community or wherever around the country or around the globe. So I like to speak on global topics as well as national topics, and that's what we do here on Space Invaders TV. Once again, don't laugh. You might see these holes in here. You're like, what's that right there? This was one of them Christmas sweaters, and I ripped it had a lot of little stuff going on. It had some eyeballs for the frog. I ripped them off. It had a bell. It was too much going on. But I had liked the sweater when I seen it. But I already knew I was going to deconstruct this joint. But I had this joint for about 2 years, never wore it. So I said, hey, why not? Why not throw it on now, huh? Fuck it. So anyway, yeah. So what we starting at right now, man, is that Trump shoot down that $600 stimulus. I think it was a good thing. He jumped out there. And, you know, because that is disrespectful. You want to give people $600, and people, the last stimulus, you know, it's been months before the last stimulus that y'all gave people. People been hurting, and y'all throw out here $600. Like, that is a slap in the face and total disrespect. And I feel like that Mitch McConnell dude, man, you know, that those people like him are everything. And I've said this before. They're everything wrong with this country. They are out of tune. They are out of touch. This guy he's in his 80s or something. Dog, whatever you in your mind, whatever like you got in your mind, your thoughts of how this country is ran. This country is technology driven now. We have things are moving faster now. The cost of living is different now. The needs are greater now, and than they ever were. You come in here at a time, and you really think it is nowhere in the United States a thriving city, community, neighborhood that you can live in and pay $600. If you pay $600 for rent, I guarantee that you probably, it may be in the South somewhere, and you're driving maybe an hour or so for work, and it's nothing in your town. Just one stoplight. It's nothing there. You can't even get groceries out of your city. You have to go to the neighboring city. You're living in a rural area somewhere. You're living off the grid, as they say. So, if anywhere thriving in the United States, your $600 isn't gonna do anything for anybody's household, you know. So Trump jumped out there. When they passed that, you know, they were so quick to get that across the table. They were ready to do that, and I'm like, that's crazy. You want to give people $600, man? Like, and you still want to give money that you already gave before you give it. And as Trump said, I had to agree with him on this. He's like, that's nothing. You should have been giving up $2,000. I'm not signing that. He said, I'm not going to sign that. He said, y'all need to go back and come back with something better and come back with $2,000, that was the talk a long time ago. That was the talk originally when they gave the $1,200. It was talks about the $2,000, you know. So I feel like that's a total disrespect and a slap in the people's face, and they didn't want to give the American people anything anyway, you know. And I'm trying to understand, as if, you know, this country is in turmoil. It's a pandemic. You're supposed to be for the people. When are people like you, Mitch McConnell, and any of you senators, any of you House reps, when are y'all going to actually be for the people? When are y'all going to actually get it, man, and be for the people? If you don't help the people, you can't get your economy back. You can't jumpstart the economy back. If you don't help the people, you give out millions of dollars a year to other countries, foreign countries. You help them out. You give them all of this money with no, we hear astronomical ticket prices that y'all throwing bags at them. We talking about, y'all throwing the whole bank at a lot of these places that y'all got deals with. You know what I'm saying? I can't go down that hole right now because we'll be here for hours. But all I'm saying is, you could look into it, folks. They're giving up money every year, helping out other people's economy, jumpstarting and stimulating others' economy. But you got your folks here that pay taxes that you cannot. We are laughable. This country is being the laughing stock right now. We're supposed to be the biggest and greatest country. Okay, we might have, you know, more freedoms and more, you know, by the end of the day, it's jacked up, man. We are the laughing stock of the world right now. Canada's next door laughing at us. Canada has, they've been universal health care, people having free health care, no matter if you working or not, you have health care over there. A homeless person has health care over there. Yeah, their taxes may be high, but you have to look at it like this. Something got to go up for you to have this right here. That's understandable. We gotta, you know what I mean? We gotta balance this thing out. So, but they've been getting their stimulus checks. A lot of countries, the UK, people has been getting stimulus checks every month since this pandemic. But the people that's running the House and you know what I'm saying, the Senate and everything, they just seem to cannot get it together. They're totally out of tune, and the reason why they're out of tune is because a lot of them are old. They need to get out of there. They've been in there too long. We need fresh blood, fresh minds in there. We need today's thinkers in there. We don't need yesterday's thinkers trying to move on today. We need them out of there. Plain and simple. That is a prime example. We need them out of there. At the end of the day, they won't give taxpayers, the taxpaying people and people that, you know, taxpaying citizens, they can't seem to get it right and understand that that's just not going to help people. The working class people have been hit. It's not American citizens' fault that this pandemic hit. Okay? It's not Americans. You want to be totally honest. It's the government. It's you guys. It was your fault. You guys are in charge of that. You guys were left in charge of that, and you had somebody in there as president that just being hateful and just vindictive and evil and just being a fucking pinhead that he could have stopped. He could have jumped in front of this thing with the pandemic in late 2019. That's why it's called COVID-19, because it actually kicked off in 2019. You know what I'm saying? So it just came and hit the states, hit the country here hard by March of 2020. You know what I'm saying? But the American people did not cause this pandemic, man. And the working class people have been uprooted. People don't know where, you know, where they're going to get their next meal from, if they were going to be able to keep their home. Even after the things that were put in place, people still have to live after this. Everything is just not going to fall back in place. They thinking that this vaccine is supposed to be the end all be all. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, and then you clearly see that ground zero people ain't gonna get it first, or ain't getting it first. It's the medical people, the nurses and stuff like that, the doctors, people working in retirement homes. I understand that part, but you have the people been affected by it, man, as well. And it's been a lot of BS happening, but you know, through this whole time with this pandemic has pulled the sheet back from a lot of things. And this year you actually got to see people in many different industries and many different fields. You really got to see what it is and what they really about. It's no longer been just speculations. You actually got to see, like, these senators, where their minds really at and how in tune they actually are. Because we have to think about something here. If you were a senator or you're a House rep, you probably been doing that job for 40-something years, right? But you have family somewhere down in you have a bloodline that they're everyday working class people. They're affected by this. They're not getting the benefits. Your own family are not. If you're a House rep or a senator, you have family members that are working class folks that aren't wealthy, that haven't been getting paid off the government for their entire life. And I'm not knocking you for whatever the education you have and the experience you have to become a senator and become a House rep. But you are a public servant. When are y'all going to start serving the public and putting the people first? Because the people put you there, whether the people know it or not. But I encourage and challenge everybody to start paying attention to your senators of your states. Start writing to your senators and everything in your states about issues, as well as your governors. Start getting at these House reps that represent your state. Start getting at these folks, because as you can see, the president is, like I said, is the things that has been going on is no longer a fluke. The president, it's always been said, You always heard the things. If you never knew anything else about the government, you may have heard, the president ain't nothing but a pawn. He's nothing but a puppet. 2020 has showed you folks that. The president don't have no. Because if Trump could have gave up the $2,000, that I believe he would have did. You know why I believe that? Because Trump, one thing he is, whether his business has failed or whatever, he still has a business mind, and he knows that if people got money, the people are gonna spend. If the people don't got money, nobody can make no money. He understands that. So he know he's not just speaking from, hey, let's give them $2,000. We give those people, y'all need to go back. I'm not signing that. He said that because he has rich friends and rich buddies, and he know that his rich friends, some of them are hurting with their businesses, and he know what's going on. He knows that, okay, listen, we have to give people money. We should be giving it to them every month. We have to give people money because when this pandemic over, how are we going to get this economy jump started? They keep saying jobs come back, but we got to look at the type of jobs. Are there jobs that, some families have four people in the family? We got to look at what type of jobs have opened back up and come back and is sustainable for people. We have to look at those things. I think right now, and I'm going to end this right here, I think right now, a lot of companies going to be rethinking a lot of things in the next couple of years. This pandemic has shown people, like, do they really need these bigger buildings when they can save that money and have workers work from home? Because there's been a lot of workers working from home, and therefore they can save money, and then they might cut salaries, because now you ain't coming in the building, you working from the comforts of your home. You could be working sitting right in your bed. This could be a normal thing. I've worked in the trucking industry, so I see there's been businesses where their offices nobody's been in their office. Like, yeah, lower level people working in the office, yeah, that's taking the paperwork, but the people that are working in the office, some HR, things of that nature, they may be working from home, man. So some HR departments may be working from home. They may have one person in the HR department, but anybody, if it's in their sales department or anything like that, they're working from home, man. They're working from home to keep a certain amount of people from being around each other. So they keep, those staff members home, and they've been home since the beginning of the pandemic. So I think those things are going to change, but Trump knew, hey, that $600, that ain't enough. And everybody knew that wasn't enough. That was a slap in the face, because they didn't want to give the people anything anyway. The stimulus plan that they laid, the package that they laid out, a $900 billion, that package that they laid out was crap, man. Let me go ahead, man. Let's read some things here, man, real quick. We're going to wrap this section up of it. But that package was crap, man. Like, you going to give people $600. What are you going to do with that, man? What are you going to do with that? So, let's go here. But Trump opposition... Trump's opposition to a more than $2 trillion coronavirus relief and government funding package raised the prospect of 12 million people losing unemployment aid and the government shutting down. Trump has not explicitly said whether he would veto the bill, and Congress would likely have enough support to override his move. The president has pushed for 2,000 direct payments instead of 600. A sum his Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin supported. It's so funny, like, certain people would say they supporting things, but if you supporting it, why hasn't it been done? Why hasn't it been done? They steady plan this policy because you have people in the House and the Senate that have these special interest groups, and they're trying to interest their people and line their people's pockets. See, we got too much of that going on too. That's what you call politics. So they say, okay, we give them this to shut them up. When, like I said, you have people like that are so out of touch. You have people that are so out of touch that they actually think that that $600, they want to tell you that that's going to work for you when it's not. When it's not. So, it's just crazy, man. So the Democrats will attempt, I'm going to read this here from CNBC. The Democrats will attempt to pass the 2,000 direct payments on Thursday, but Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy, Republican of California, will object. CNBC reported. Meanwhile, McCarthy plans to offer a new temporary spending bill separating State Department and foreign aid funding from the broader spending package, a plan Democrats will likely oppose. Any delay in the measure becoming law threatens financial ruin for already struggling Americans. The $900 billion coronavirus relief portion of the bill extends pandemic-era expansions of jobless benefits that cover 12 million people. The provision expires Saturday, the day after Christmas, which was already known. I spoke about this early on. A federal eviction moratorium, which the legislation would extend through January 31st, would expire at the end of the year. Tens of millions of people could face threat of losing their home if the measure lapses. With Congress failing to pass new federal aid for most of the year, millions of people fell into poverty. The package would send temporary help in the form of a weekly federal unemployment supplement of $300 through mid-March. The $600 payments and $284 billion and Paycheck Protection Program small business loan. It also contains more than $8 billion for COVID vaccine distribution, $25 billion for rental assistance, $82 billion for education, and $45 billion for transportation, including funding to help airlines keep employees on staff. Now, listen, man, all I'm saying is this. The Paycheck Protection Program, they need to be a little more. They need to monitor that a lot more, because they just threw money away the last time. We don't. What happened to all of those companies that took money? Have they got that money back from those companies? Those companies that took money that weren't supposed to take it. Big companies weren't supposed to take that money. I think it should have been a stipulation, because you know what happens here? You have say, okay, we just gonna use this for example. Say, Space Invaders. I have Space Invaders, right? But I have other branches under me. I have other companies that I've created that branched off from Space Invaders. So what you had happening was people were taking stimulus money for those smaller businesses. They were getting them from the smaller businesses, that the other branch off businesses that they had created. They were getting checks. And you got to think about it like this. If you had the right people writing stuff out for you, if you had like one big corp, if you had one main business, but you had 5 other branches of your business, you got checks for 5 of those branches. And what those business owners were doing, what those companies were doing was saying like, oh no, that's not, that's business, that's ran on its own. Yeah, you probably doing taxes of that business on its own, but brother, but those companies are housed under one umbrella. That money is still coming back to one place. It's just looking like on paper it's going right there. But at the end of the day, because how is the main building, the main company staying afloat then? It's reaping the benefits of all of those other entities that it's created. So that's what people were doing. So where's that money at? That need to be a little more monitored. And I don't think if you have that going on, that's not what the PPP was for. It was for small businesses, one business. That's all you should get. It should not be somebody that has a string of businesses and they're trying to get checks for all of them. It shouldn't go like that. So they should monitor that. The vaccine, I thought they gave up money from the last stimulus that was supposed to help with the vaccine. $82 billion for education. But if you're going to give money for the education, then let it go to the education, because y'all just gave money before. We need to figure out, we don't even know, even where I'm living at, what do they do? What are they doing with that money that they got from the last time? You know what I'm saying? Like we need to instead of just throwing money out there, and see that's how they throwing money out there, and then you have other people come. You have those certain other people coming and snatching that money out the air. You know what I'm saying? Before anybody getting to get it. You talking about 25 billion for rental assistance. Well, here you have people that are you have private companies or whatever, nonprofits or whoever offering and assisting with people's rent and mortgages. But you have some of the landlords, they are rejecting. They don't want to take the money from these corporations. So we have to pay attention to when the government has to pay attention when you're throwing this money out here, what that it is actually going where it needs to go. You do not need to throw money at a situation and not follow the money. The same thing happened. I'm gonna continue it again. The same thing happened with Katrina. When the small businesses down in New Orleans was supposed to get the money to help them rebuild, the government sent the checks down, sent the check to the state. The governor did what he wanted to and dispersed that money to his people. Look into that. And if any business owner from New Orleans is watching this and was there in New Orleans through Katrina, you know what I'm talking about. I remember watching some it was something on C-SPAN, and they had a meeting, and the business owners were there, and this was put on the table, and they talked about it, and I was like, wow, this was back, and this was like, this took place after Katrina, where they had this meeting. It was some type of discussion, some type of board meeting they were having. It was on C-SPAN. It probably kicked off like 5 years after Katrina, and they were talking about, and the government was saying that when they sent the money out, when who was the president at that time? That was Bush, right? When he sent the money out, they just sent the money. They just sent the aid. They did not follow the trail. So that's what's going on now. They're sending money out, and then people are just grabbing them. The wrong people are getting the money. It's going into the wrong hands. You know what I mean? And there's nobody monitoring this money. And then when it all comes out years later, 5 years from now, they're going to be like, oh, we lost all of this money during the pandemic. Money was just funneled out and no trail of it. No one had. And then we're going to have a problem. Then taxes are going to go up on people. And for something that most didn't never even reap any benefits from. You still have small businesses still don't have any money. You know what I'm saying? Still about or in trouble. They're going to close down. So the right people that are not benefiting from this situation. The wrong people are benefiting from this situation. And I think it's all a ploy if you really ask me. You know what I'm saying? But to go back to what Trump talking about with the $600, yeah, I think, yeah, it should be more. It should be $2,000. The cost of living is high. You can't do nothing with $600, point blank, period. All right? So you can't do nothing with that but piss that off. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, say, Trump said that, but why are you saying that now? You're going to be out of there. So if they go on a recess or whatever, you're not going to be there. You're out the door. So you said this. The timing is off from you saying this. You should have been advocating and talking about this. But you were so Trump. You were so up in your feelings about losing this election that you forgot about where your job really was. You never really knew what your job was anyway. You spent more time tweeting and acting a fool and not carrying yourself as the president should. You were acting real childish anyway. So now you come now and you saying that, which I still think is it's all cap, as they say. It's all cap. You capping, you saying that, but you gonna cause this whole thing to be an uproot. This is all part of your plan too, Trump. Like, you do things and cause all this confusion and all of this talk, and then you go walk off. But see, they're not smart enough to peep some of those behaviors. They'll keep, even with the media, they keep entertaining you, but you're just that guy that goes and instigates stuff and then walk off. You know what I'm saying? And leave everybody over there with their hands out and leave everybody else over there fighting while you go walk off and then go stand on the top of the hill and laugh at everybody after you created all this mayhem. But see that this mayhem that you just created, Trump, you do understand. I'm with you with what you said, but the timing is wrong. You should have been saying this. You should have been advocating for this back at the beginning. Actually, if you probably wouldn't have destroyed the Department of Justice the way you did, because Obama and them did set it up for you. Biden and them, they did have everything in place for you. If this pandemic could have been blocked because they were planning for this. Obama and Biden, they knew about this. The Department of Justice was set up. Everything was in place for you. They had all the players in place for you, all the things and the tools you needed. You came in and you destroyed everything. So again, you know what I'm saying? The timing is bad. I feel you. I'm with you. A lot of American citizens already knew that when they said the $600. That's a slap in everybody's face. Say that to New Yorkers. 600. Let's just take it there. Somebody living in New York. $600 fucking dollars. What is it gonna do for them? Okay? You're gonna piss it off. You know what I mean? What are you gonna do? You know what I mean? Some people have a $600 grocery bill alone because of the family size. You know what I mean? So, $600. You know what I mean? Even though they say, oh, you get $600 per child. As I said, certain places you live in, things are more expensive. So even if you have a 2-family, even if it's 3-family, you can have a $600 grocery bill, man, for a month because of where you live. What groceries cost. So yeah, that's my feelings on that. I'm with y'all on that, and that's part of the reason why, this show I'm doing now, I wanted to speak on that. And also I'm gonna jump in and talk about you have the wealthy. The wealthy are fleeing New York. They flee in New York because of, high prices and everything. They're losing. So, and but the wealthy are fleeing New York. New York is they already lost $300 million so far this year during the pandemic. New York City. They're set to lose $133 billion in tax money if the wealthy and all the rich leave, like Park Avenue and all of these places. But let's be clear about something here. The wealthy in the early 2000s, when they start gentrifying, major cities, and New York was one of the cities where a lot of gentrification started to take place in the early 2000s. The wealthy was rushing to these places, and natives were, wherever city you were in, natives were pushed out, and buildings started, these high rises, and the cost of living start being escalated in these certain areas. They escalate in certain areas. Escalate in certain areas. Business owners, mom and pop stores were pushed out. No regard, no nothing. All because they wanted to gentrify these areas. So now that y'all came in and did that, and now when the heat gets hot, y'all want to flee now? Y'all want to flee now. So I say this real quick. I hope that the native New Yorkers, I hope that y'all are able to get y'all city back and get your just back, get your areas back. It's always been pricey there, but the gentrification really had made it bad. And I hope that you all get your city back. All the business owners. The natives, that the diehard New Yorker natives and all the boroughs that that were hard workers, generation of hard workers that were forced out, and families and stuff like that forced out. I hope that y'all all get y'all just due. I hope y'all be able to recapture your cities and boroughs again. That these freaking vultures are now leaving, and they talking about they're gonna fly south to Florida. Well, Florida taxes are high. Hope you can stand it. You know what I'm saying? But they'll be back. They'll be back soon as the New Yorkers, soon as the natives get the city back to where, get the city back running again, because it's going to be the natives that get that city back. They get the boroughs back popping. It's going to be the natives. It's going to be the natives in any major metro city in the country that brings, they're the heart of it. So soon as they get it back, they're gonna the wealthy and rich are gonna come walking their ass back, and I hope that they won't be able to recapture nothing. I hope the natives don't let them recapture a freaking thing. So big up, man, to New York, man. Y'all gonna get y'all city back. This ain't nothing for y'all because it's, hey, man, if you can make it in New York, you can make it anywhere. Real talk. You know what I'm saying? If you can make it in the tri-state area, everybody know where the tri-state area up there: New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, Pennsylvania. What is it? Long Island, Staten Island. You know what I'm saying? We already know. If you can make it in the tri-state, you can make it anywhere, baby. And it takes the natives are gonna bring it back. We done seen the hard times. If you live in the tri-state area, most of the cities in the tri-state area, you done seen it when it went through the riots and burnt down buildings. You know what I'm saying? And abandoned buildings were up for years and big lots, nothing in them for years. We went through that. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, big up to my native New Yorkers. Y'all gonna get y'all city back. And just for if you don't know about the gentrification era, when major corporations start coming in and trying to and gaining and contractors and construction company coming in and buying up land in urban areas where they felt like, oh, it was good, especially if it was an area on a waterfront. They coming in and and if it was buildings there or if it was business there, they just pushed them out. So there's a book, I mean not a book, there's a movie, it's a documentary called A Class Divide. It came out in 2015 and it talks about the West Chelsea area of New York. The West Chelsea section, to be exact, of New York, and the effects gentrification had on public housing. That documentary is called A Class Divide. Check that out, y'all. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't know about gentrification and the effects it had, you know what I mean, and how just disrespectfully some of this stuff was done with these corporations coming in, where you seen in some urban communities, you had mom and pop stores thriving, been in the community for years. They know everybody in the community, barbershops, things of that nature, housing. And then you'll have somebody like a Starbucks, you'll have a McDonald's come in and then take out a whole area where your grandmoms might have been living there. Your uncle might have owned the barbershop over there or the body shop across the street. Your dad might have owned or something. Now they all got to leave because these people want to come here and they want all of this. And they're going to pay the city for it. The city's going to give them the money. The city's going to give them all types of incentives and everything like that. You know what I'm saying? So I hope that people of New York, the native New Yorkers, you're going to get your city back, man. Shout out to y'all, man. Salute, because, that's what it takes. The wealthy, the freaking blood suckers. The rich and the wealthy, they blood suckers, they go run and tuck your tail. But a lot of the rich and the wealthy have been fleeing the tri-state for forever anyway. They got their money and they was running anyway, to other places anyway. For some reason, everybody always run to Florida. I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, damn, the taxes are high down there to own property, bro. Like, you saying it's expensive in New York, but god damn, it's expensive down there, yo. Like, for real. So, yeah, that's just crazy, man. But I want to end off like this with y'all, man. Many have taken the hour, the day, the months, and years for granted. Humans have taken each other for granted. Most humans have taken their talents and gifts for granted, their riches for granted, and other people's finances for granted. I'm gonna say that line one more time. They have taken their talents and gifts for granted, their riches for granted, other people's finances for granted. I've said it before and I will say this again. My belief is this COVID pandemic was to get those of us who are lost and or not, who are lost or not, and not giving the Most High His glory. This was His way. This was the Most High's way of getting our attention. This pandemic of 2020, I've said it before. Look back at my earlier videos from this year. I've said it before. This pandemic was the Most High's way of getting the people's attention. Why? This is His wrath. You always hear, you might hear your grandma, your elders say, you're going to feel the wrath of God. I'm telling you, when He come, I'm telling you, this is Him. This is the coming. This is what they were talking about. This is part of it, but He had to come this way so you can understand. Because if He really come like with the destruction, but this is His way of slapping you on the butt. This is His way of slapping you up. Okay, y'all gonna listen. You're getting out of control. You've been out of control. You're taking advantage of everything. This is not what life is. You're valuing the wrong things. You're praising the wrong things and not praising me. That's what the Most High. You're not giving Him His glory. And we still have the rich and the wealthy. They're fighting against this. They fighting against this. It's coming to me, y'all. They fighting against. They're fighting this. They're fighting the energy. They're fighting this, and the forces. That's what I'm looking for. They fighting the force, and the Most High. You ain't stronger than Him. He gonna win. He winning, and He gonna keep on until you get it. But guess what? The first should be last, and the last should be first. I said it before. And what's going on? The rich, they're trying to hold on, but you're losing. You're losing. You're gonna lose. You're gonna lose. This is just my belief. I'm not asking this belief to be yours, man. This is just my belief. This is His way of getting our attention. This is just my belief. It don't have to be yours. But follow me now. Everyone isn't perfect. We all are not perfect. God knows this. He created us. We're not perfect, man. We all have our flaws. But how many people have to fall in front of your face, in front of your eyes, before at least a portion of us get it? What we were celebrating was not the right thing to celebrate. What we were deeming to be, what most were glorifying, that wasn't it. You glorifying man, you giving man the glory and not even giving the Most High. You would hear you would hear people get interviews on television and they talk about I. This is what I. When I started this is what, when I did this, when I did that. You never hear them give the Most High. How do you think that you got here? If you ever traveled this nation and you seen how things are built, if you ever went around this country and seen, if you ever rode through the mountains, man didn't create this, man. Man did not create this. It had to be somebody, some higher power. Hey, I don't know what your belief is and who you believe in, but you gotta believe in something. You know what I'm saying? You could believe in yourself, but understand who created you. That's the question that you gotta ask yourself. You didn't create you. It was Him ordering your steps. It was Him picking you up when you couldn't do it, when you didn't know the way. You thought you knew the way. He pushed you in that area. You didn't find these rich. If you were born, if you were born into riches, if you were born into wealth, God blessed you with that. What you gonna do with it is the question. It ain't for you to just sit on it and continuously spew the money around, throw it around in people's faces. It's for you. What are you gonna do with it? If you were birthed into wealth, what are you gonna do with it? Besides yourself. I don't care about your riches nor connection. If you haven't been halted and forced to look over yourself and rethink your ways in this pandemic, then your life just may be this pandemic for the remainder of your days on this earth. I'm going to say that one more time. If you haven't been halted and forced to look over yourself and rethink your ways in this pandemic, then your life just may be this pandemic for the remainder of your time on this earth. Because this pandemic should have shook you and woke you up. It made you rethink of some things and made you rethink and think about what really matters. The government done even showed y'all essential and non-essential. If you're an essential worker, we need you out here. If you're non-essential, you're going to sit home. So they just showed you what's essential and not. So if you sitting at home, I'm not trying to kick you back and I'm not trying to talk back. If some people are in entertainment and you sitting at home and you had a lot of fans and people that glorified you, you're not made for the people to glorify you. So, but it's been put out there now for people to understand that you're non-essential. You're entertainment. You're just here to entertain us. You're not here for us to keep aligning your pockets. You're here to entertain us. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times now, what y'all doing to entertain is not entertainment. Y'all not really, what you think is motivating people is not motivating them. It's not motivating them. And still, as I said, some wealthy people got their head in their ass. That's not what some of y'all thinking is motivating is not motivating. He showed you what's essential and what's non-essential. This is a time during this pandemic that people were able to sit home and be around their families, and all you had to do was learn yourself again. Learn yourself, think, and be around your family. If you were able to wake up every day of this pandemic and have a roof over your head, food in your belly, warmth, and your family, you have the hierarchy of needs. Those are the needs. Those are the things you need to survive. Anything else is non-essential. That's it. And if you're watching this, if you are watching this right now, there's nothing but God's grace and mercy upon your life. Let's put this year behind us, but let us not forget the tragedies. Let us not forget the people that we lost throughout this year. The hurt, the pain, the things that most of us lost. But you still have your life. If you're still able and you're watching this and you still have life and you're waking up every day with a roof over your head, you may not have a Christmas like you want to have it, but you have a roof over your head, and he's still making a way for you. Then you are blessed. You are highly favored, and you are covered in the blood. You better understand that. You better understand that right now. And if this pandemic has not changed and made you rethink your way of life and how to do things, then this pandemic just may be your pandemic for the remainder of the days of your days on this earth. I'm your host, man. I'm your boy Rashawn, aka Looker. This is Space Invaders TV, y'all. Space Invaders, y'all. I thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for rocking with me. Peace and blessings to all of y'all, man. Peace be with you and your households. Make sure you subscribe. If you haven't subscribed to the page, subscribe to the page. Hit the notification bell. Turn your notification button on so every time that I post, you will know. Be blessed, everybody. I will talk to you again in the new year. Peace and blessings, y'all. This is Space Invaders. I'm out.